We're here.
Hello,
We're here.
everybody. My name is Louis Herms. This is SBG News, and that beautiful person next to me is Robert Imbrielli. And we are actually going to be doing a new format for the next 3 weeks, maybe longer,
Maybe longer.
because I am traveling like a madman. In fact, I'm in a hotel right now. Therefore, Robert and I are going to be co-hosting, which would be a lot of fun because I'm the beautiful one and he's the smart one. So, you can, but I don't think you care about the looks right now. You should care about the content. So he should be the focus of the show. I just kind of that fly on the wall when Robert's explaining stuff.
Now.
On a on a serious note, we're very excited about this, even though the temporary format is new. And to us, I think it'll be a lot of fun for us because Robert and I tend to play off of each other fairly well. So, Robert, take it away.
Louis, this was based on a lot of feedback we got from our wonderful audience too. They kind of like our gloves are off segment, and they like when we kind of go back and forth on these topics because it adds a different flavor to just rather than just the news and just sort of monologuing. So I'm excited. I think this is a great opportunity for us to really see if we dig in. We've got a lot of stories today. Just a programming note: Louis has to leave at about 5 minutes at the top of the hour, so I'm going to wrap up the show today. He's got another interview with the lovely, dare we say who? I think we should.
Oh, say it.
Say it. Laura Worley, right?
That's right,
Yeah.
Laura Worley.
Yeah.
So that'd be a great, great interview.
Yeah, she's an amazing woman. I've interviewed her, and I haven't been on her show yet, but I've interviewed her in the past and met her in person. And yeah, she's got stories. Oh my gosh, that woman's got stories, right? Of things that are going on, things that she thinks are coming or maybe coming, and she's very uniquely positioned. Let's just call it that for now.
Yeah, she's extraordinary, has a lot of great information. And said I'll start my week off with that interview. I'm not quite even sure. I feel like I'm being handled right now, even though I'm not, because I had 8 interviews last week and 5 shows, and I'm not quite sure what's coming and going anymore. And it's kind of the way it's going to be until about the 21st, 22nd of October for me. But then we have great things to come because, where there's effort, there is fruit that comes from sowing the seeds, and that's what we're doing right now.
Exactly. And note too that we're not complaining about the work. We talk about it a lot because it is a big part of our life to put this show on. We're certainly not complaining. We love being here. We love sharing with all of you, and really appreciate the feedback and the emails and everything that we've been getting. We're making an impact, and that's really what we're about. So we're not complaining about it. We love it. We want to keep doing it, and we're working within the schedule. I've got a lot going on in my world too, and some bigger stuff coming up.
Yes, you do.
Moving,
Yes, you
and so we're going to do this format for the time being. I think you're going to enjoy it. I think we have a lot of fun. We've got so many stories to share too, which is really kind of fun to dig into some of this stuff. But shall we get on to story number 1?
Real quick, let me touch on it. It's
Okay.
definitely not about complaining. This is about informing you, which is we the people, why you'll see format changes and so on and so forth. We don't want to, we're not just flipping and changing things automatically. We actually have a method to our madness, and it's based on Robert and our schedule and what we can handle. And he's like my foundation right now at home in a studio to make this work. So this is what we figured out. The good news is, isn't that the way? This is how divine it always works out. We figured out something that the people are craving anyway. So it works out perfect.
Yeah, I think it's a win-win for everyone. Again, and I should say our internet connection is stable today, so I'm real excited about that.
Awesome.
Knock on. Where's some wood? I need some wood around here. Where's some wood?
There you go. There you go. You're all set.
All right. From the moment they got the emergency use authorization approval to tell the FDA what was in it, they still haven't. How come nobody's in trouble?
And they won't be, right? Because they're all paid up. They're all paid off.
They're all paid off. It's all part of the same collective, and it's just, I am not optimistic that we'll ever find out what's in it, and that is sort of the first step to really being able to understand how to reverse it. You really need to know what's in it. How do we know what's in it so far? People have stolen the vials. It's illegal to do that. They've stolen the vials. They've put them under scanning microscopes. They've done other tests on them, and they kind of get an idea of what's in it, but probably more than we know.
So. Yeah. Okay. So let's have a hard conversation because I'm watching the chat, and this is maybe hard for people. What if this is some form of culling the population, as it's an IQ test. And I'm not, people know I'm not a mean-spirited person, but when does it get to the point where we're like, hey, all the information is out there, not that maybe you don't deserve to live on this planet, but whatever you get because we've done everything we can to get the information out there, and you still decided to take this new jab. Yeah. I mean, and I'm saying that about my own family and friends, by the way.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just what it is, what can we do anymore? We've worked and worked and worked. There has to be a point where we go, okay, well, you're on your own now.
I had a conversation with somebody on Saturday, and we were having this little chat, and she was telling me, she says, well, I'm not indoctrinated. And I say, all of us are. We didn't escape it. We went to a school system that indoctrinated us from the start. And I went to school in the late 60s, early 70s, you know what I mean? Way back when, we're still indoctrinated. You have to question, you have to ask permission, you have to get in line, you have to wait your turn, all of this stuff, all those little things that make us a productive member of society, which is what school was. But they went well beyond that, obviously, we know, right? And you can dig into it. So all of us are, it's not just like...
They need to be held accountable. They need to, I don't know if it's Nuremberg or whatever we do, but we're done with it. And something that we're going to be releasing in the next few days will give you an indication of what's coming to the future. And I'll give you a hint. RYO, that's all I'm going to say right now. We're going to be in a position to start putting pressure on the people that are doing things right and the people that are doing things wrong and the people that are neutral so they do things right. And you guys will see how this works, and I think it's going to be a no-brainer. And I'm very happy to be a part of it, even though we haven't even done it yet.
Yep. Looking forward to it because I know what's happening.
Yep. It's very cool.
No, don't ask me, guys, because I'm not going to share with you. Sorry. Ain't going to happen. All right, we promised them all Trump all the time. So, let's dig into Donald Trump again. Boy, oh boy. This guy can just keep taking the hits. I don't get it. It's amazing.
President Trump, he's a duck.
Water rolls off the back. Yep.
It does roll off his back. What do you got for us?
Trump is reacting to Jamal pulling the fire alarm.
Oh, that idiot. Let's just call him an idiot.
Compare this to what they did with the January 6th people who are just standing there. Maybe? Nope.
No, this has got to be optics, but let's take it at face value.
Okay.
Let's assume this guy, I can't believe I'm saying this. Let's assume this guy actually believes that that's how to open the door, right? Well, folks, Democrats, that's who you voted for. You actually have a representative in Congress that thinks he opens the door by pulling a red lever that says fire emergency on it. You can't make this stuff up, Robert.
Up. I mean, the excuses are just so weak and so. It's just like, there's no way. I mean, he knew what he was doing. He was definitely doing it, and that's
of course he wanted to stop the vote. Again, this is what they result to. So
they wanted the shutdown because they were calling it the Republican shutdown. They wanted it.
Yeah, of course. They needed the shutdown, and they didn't get it, right? But it's all acting. Everybody needs to be real. This is everything that you're seeing in Congress right now is acting. All of it. On the federal level, it's all acting. So now I don't mean, just so you're very clear, that that's completely run by the White Hats. Well before the White Hats, for the last 50 years, we've been putting into office, and not just we the people, but they've been putting in actors, where these actors pretend to be red and pretend to be blue, and then as soon as the camera's off and the voting stops and they're off of the media, right? They're hanging out, they're BSing with each other, they're loving up on each other, and they're trying to figure out what's the next way that they can scam the American people. How can we now steal more money from them and put it in our pockets? Across the board, Sorry, guys, the Republicans and Democrats, they enter Congress and they all come out wealthier. Is that the way it's supposed to work? That's not the way the system's supposed to work. So the corruption is wholesale. I would say now I do feel maybe there's 12, 15 Republicans and possibly 2 Democrat, 3 actors in there that are playing a part, and the 12 to 15 Republicans are good, but that's about it. The good news is they're probably on the committees, and that's why you're seeing things go in a certain direction.
Very true. It's just sometimes hard to see where the act ends and the reality begins, or vice versa, right? So they
Yeah.
make it all look very, very real, and McCarthy doing a backroom deal where he's like, oh, we'll just sign the continuing resolution for 45 days, and hey, listen, we're not going to fund Ukraine, but he already had a deal set up that he's going to fund Ukraine.
That's right.
So
That's right. Is it
that's
real?
going on.
Is it not real?
Yeah, I don't. Well, we know this isn't real.
Wow. So Captain Deplorable 45 will be on the Truth Tour.
Yay.
Actually, he's going to be co-hosting with us. Great guy on the final number 77 Truth Tour. He'll be there, so we'll talk about that also. But but it's so funny. He uses this joke and the parody to really just show how ridiculous this is, and the hypocrisy is absolutely incredible, the way they're going after President Trump. Wow. Welcome to the greatest show on earth.
Literally. And I know Sean is just kind of poking fun there, but it's just too funny. And I guess one of the things, Lewis, I hear from the people who watch us is like we kind of take a lighthearted approach to all this news too. We take it all in, and we don't get all depressed and upset about it. We're not yelling, and in anger. We're just like, I can't believe this, and we turn it into, okay, what's the light side of this, right? There's always a side that's lighter, and we're always able to turn these stories into that.
Yeah, I would agree, and I think it's very healthy and it's necessary for us to move forward, because we have to. So let's look at what we know. We know the cabal must have us afraid and divided. So isn't it common sense that we should do everything we can to unify and stay positive? If we know those are two things they 100% have to have us in fear and have to keep us divided, right? And unhealthy, if you want to add that to it. So shouldn't 3 of our pillars be stay positive, stay healthy, and stay unified? To me, it's a no-brainer, and that's what we're working on for the future, which is good.
And we're working on another president. Denise is saying in the chat room, the greatest show on earth. The greatest show, I should say, not on earth. The greatest show is getting better every day. So thank you, Denise. We appreciate that. See, people very like nice. That just make us get up in the morning and say, I can't wait. Somebody posted on Facebook, what do you feel about Mondays? It's like, I love Mondays. And I don't know about you, Lewis, but there was so much news. I've got like 3-hour show here if I wanted to. There's so much to talk about today. It's crazy.
It's crazy how much news there was for us to go through, but it ain't going to happen, folks.
Well, we're going to take the cream of the cream, the thing that's worth talking about, and it's all about Trump today, because that's really what's, crazy that he's in New York in court today. And they're trying to literally take his business license away. And they're saying one of the consequences could be that if they were to succeed in this, I don't think they will, but if they were to succeed, they could actually take over the business and liquidate everything.
Yep.
Wow. Crazy.
Amazing, right? Amazing. So everything to get Trump. Why, folks? Because he's working for you.
Yep.
We the people. So the way we have to look at it now. First, put aside whether you love Trump or not. Let's just deal with the fact again. Whether you appreciate what he did or not, the appearance is that he's working for we the people. So every single attack on President Trump is an attack on you.
Yep.
And that's why you should bring unity. So even if you're not a fan of Trump, or whatever your reasons or your black-pilled reason is, you can hold that truth of yours. There's no problem with that. But just understand that every attack that goes against him right now from the cabal is because he is talking about we the people. So that's an attack on you personally. So this is probably when he should have our support.
More so than ever. I heard you say unity, but it registered in my mind as mutiny. It's time for mutiny. Like, oh, wait a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
That wasn't
Yeah.
a Freudian slip now, was it?
No. No. FBI, he's joking, just so you're clear.
I hear it. So this is what Trump had to say outside of that's my hometown.
So
City's not the same.
what size of marbles do you have to publicly shame the judge and the DA of your case right before you walk into the
Right
the
outside
courtroom?
his door, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a nice set. Those, and with him, they've got to be gold. So I love that. He just calls it like it is.
Yeah.
You're talking about two corrupt people that are using lawfare.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, it's interesting. One of my short films that is something I'm most proud of, probably because how hard the work went into it, is the least watched film out of everything because it has to do with law, and it was on Mike Lindell sued Dominion, right? And I broke that lawsuit down like 87 pages. I forgot. I spent so much time reading it and breaking it down and explaining it, and made a film out of it called the what was it? I think the greatest lawsuit on earth or something. I don't know. Mike Lindell. Anyways, I guess nobody liked it. Maybe they don't like because I wasn't being funny. I was literally analyzing each part of it, but it's very interesting because it all comes down to RICO, which he inserted in there many, many times, right? Even put in Nuremberg in the lawsuit, reference the Nuremberg trials, which I think are going to play huge in the future. But my point with this is they said it's all lawfare, and that's exactly what this is. So they're using the law as a bludgeon instead of as the way it should be used.
Okay, conspiracy theory here. He knows
I don't do
something.
those. Who? Mike Lindell?
Trump. Trump knows something. To be able to do what he did this morning, he knows something more than we're aware of.
Exactly. Well, then let's double down on the conspiracy theory and say it is a plan. You know, because he knows it's going. Everything's been a boomerang, and that cannot be a coincidence anymore. You know,
No,
I don't think
often.
this idiot that pulled the fire alarm is a coincidence. I think that's part of the show. It's like, look at this guy can do this and not be held accountable. So the normies are eventually going to say, huh? And what happens, and guys, I know you're going to hate this, but you, me, and Robert aren't going to be the one that are going to be waking up all the normies. It's going to be Elon Musk, going to be Joe Rogan, it'll be Russell Brand, a little bit Roseanne Barr. It's going to be celebrities, guys. It's just athletes. It's just the way it's going to be, because you have to think about it. They became normie because they're so far stuck in the matrix. The biggest part of the matrix is the media arm of the matrix, right? That's the brainwashing arm. You've seen it in concerts. You understand what Hollywood is. You understand the word programming, what casting is. You understand all that. So that is who's going to have to turn them around. And I believe we've now starting to get the so-called celebs to do some of our work for us. And you guys, you don't have to like it. Do I like it? Do I like that Robert and I can't get 4 million views when we have a much better take, and we're great example. We're 6 months ahead of anything Russell Brand says. I don't like it, but I certainly am happy that these guys are getting some traction right now. So let's use it to our advantage, because ultimately it's not about the people you're watching. It's about we the people taking back our countries and making a beautiful place for us to live and for the future of our children. So if these knuckleheads are going to be the ones that are going to have to expose it, let's use them to our advantage.
No, absolutely. And they're getting in the ear, and RFK Jr. is doing a massive service for us too, because he's getting in the ear of the other side who are all in on anybody with a D next to their name. And now
That's
he's saying
right.
the same things that Trump has been saying forever. And now they're listening and they're going, yeah, we should close the border. Oh, really? And of course,
As long as it doesn't affect my car, we're good to go.
this is what school did. Where's your safe space now? Don't talk bad. Don't talk mean. And instead of, hey,
Yeah.
put the kid on the tricycle, take the training wheels off. If he falls down, scuffs up his knee, it'll heal. That's how you learn, right? You learn, oh, that hurts. I don't want to do that again. And we don't do that. We helicopter parenting and all the rest of it. And now we have a generation of people who can't bear to face what is reality.
Yep.
You know,
Yep. I agree.
it's frustrating.
It is. Such is life.
Yep. And I hear it all the time. Same thing. Oh, Rob, don't talk to me about the news. Don't tell me about the news. I don't want to know. I'm like, but it affects you. It impacts you today, right here. It impacts you.
Right.
I don't know. I
Right.
don't care.
Because when you know, then you have to do something about it.
Correct.
And if you have to do something about it and you still choose to sit on your ass, you're not a good person. So they want to pretend like they're good people. And the way they pretend like they're good people is by putting the blindfold and the earmuffs on. Isn't that interesting?
The blindfold and the earmuffs. Yeah. And the mask. Can't see my reaction to anything.
That's right.
Right?
Go figure.
Yeah. We're deciphering the world here. All right. Gavin Newsom. Ugh, do I have to talk about this guy? If he's still alive? I don't even know. Anyway.
That's a different dude. But
It's
go
a
ahead.
different dude. Yeah. And so is DeSantis, too. I saw that picture this morning. That ain't him. You know?
Nope.
Very different dude. I don't know what's going on with all this stuff, but
Yeah.
I can't wait for the day we find out.
By the way, for Rob to say this, guys, you know it's true because he will not take that leap as quick as some other people do.
Yep. Yeah. No, I go through a lot of Telegram stuff and I see a lot of these things and okay, I take it, but I don't jump on it because I need more, you know. And especially things with no dates on them. Yeah, I'm not interested. Don't talk to me. So Newsom has to replace the now deceased Dianne Feinstein, who is probably the most corrupt of all. Lewis, there were people on Facebook that said, "Oh, she was such a wonderful leader." I have to hit the unfriend button here. I can't keep you in my circle.
No, that's like saying AOC is intelligent.
Yeah, the bartender, right? Yeah, good luck with that. So he's replacing her. Oh my God, look at this, guys. What is her name?
Oh, her name is Lapapalooza. Oh no, sorry, that's a concert.
LaFonza Butler.
LaFonza Butler. And good, it says it here. That's right. So so Newsom's is picking this lady, and she's actually from Maryland. So she's like, "Oh, great, I'm in. Oh shit, got to go to Facebook. Take Maryland off of my account, my Instagram. Take it off."
So this is from the
no
Gateway
correction.
Pundit. Butler currently lives in Maryland, according to her Emily's List biography. Izzy Garden, a spokeswoman for Newsone, said Butler owns a home in California. She's expected to re-register to vote in California before being sworn in. That could happen as early as Tuesday evening when the Senate returns to session. The body of Dianne Feinstein isn't even cold yet. They've got her replaced. Go figure.
Well, I disagree. I think the body of Dianne Feinstein has been cold for months.
Probably.
That's a whole nother story.
She was in the Senate.
That didn't work out very well for them. So I believe everything's accelerated. So that's why you see so much crazy stuff, and then they have to come out publicly now. So let's assume there's no actors, no white hats controlling anything. Let's just look at it at face value real quick. We're still winning because these people had to accelerate their agenda by 10 years. It's so bad that they're coming out saying pretty much, we're Satanists, follow us, right? I mean, they're getting that blatant right now because we the people are stepping up and they cannot handle the we the people. It's a beautiful, they put out a narrative. And we, the people, whether it's Twitter or here or wherever, we shut down that narrative within minutes now.
Yeah.
It's like we're like, boom, digital word, bam, and that narrative is gone, wasted. See ya, no more monkeypox. It's pretty cool what's going on. And I think everybody should be extraordinarily excited, not because of the great work White Hats or President Trump is doing, but because of the great work you're doing, because it's we the people that they're really afraid of.
We're all
Because
part of it.
we're
None of us are on the sidelines, and and you really have to work
yep,
hard at this point to be on the sidelines because we're in it. Go buy some gas. You'll see you're in it. You know what I mean? You're being impacted by what's going on.
yep, true, true.
Crazy, crazy. All right, Mr. Gates. I haven't seen this interview.
For this moment to happen, because that was the rule. The one vote rule was established as a said, okay, McCarthy, we're going to give you your speakership after what 16 votes or whatever it was. We will give your speakership, but there's two main things. We're going to fill the committees. We being the Freedom Caucus, the Patriots, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to fill the committees with who Trump wants in there, by the way. That's the untold story. They fill the committee with Trump selections. Number two, you have to sign off on a one vote axing if you are not performing your job. That's how Speaker McCarthy got the speakership. Now the chickens are coming home to roost.
After 15 votes, you remember back in January how long it took? It took weeks to get that through, and you had to agree to all these terms, and he agreed to them. So he got the speakership. He ain't going to be able to keep it. If Gates pushes through with what he said, he's not going to be able to keep that speakership.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Although the Democrats can certainly get involved.
They can.
Amazing. Wouldn't it be amazing if the Democrats figure a way to vote McCarthy in?
Well, AOC said she's voting to get him out. So
yeah. Well, we'll
maybe
see
there's
what
enough
happens.
Democrats that'll just vote along with them and say, yeah, he's gone. We're tired of him.
Yeah.
But
We'll
I mean,
see.
he votes with the Democrats on everything. So
They don't. But they don't want a Jim Jordan in.
No, they don't.
Or how about a President Trump?
Yeah, there's that possibility too. This could get very interesting before the week is out. So we're going to keep an eye on it.
I just teased it. Everybody's going, what the hell's he talking about, President Trump?
No, that story's been out there for a while. We've heard that again and again. And apparently Trump has
But
said
by the
no.
way, I did confirm
Uh-huh.
that according to the rules, that is 100% possible.
It is, yes. I confirmed that as well when I looked into that, and it is very possible. They don't have to be part of Congress. They don't have to be part of anything. They could be brought in from the outside.
That would be interesting.
That would be. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's an exciting possibility. We'll have to wait and see. This is going to be a heated thing. So Matt Gaetz is stepping up. And what do you think the Democrats want? What do you think the rhinos? Sorry, the rhinos. It's not even the Democrats. Rhinos want to do. They want to oust him. This was the Gateway Pundit. Multiple unnamed House Republicans have reportedly stated that they want Gaetz gone from the caucus. A recent report from CNN, the most reliable CNN, cited an unnamed House Republican stating that the caucus wants Gaetz gone, indicating a willingness to use an ongoing ethics committee investigation into Gaetz' grounds for his expulsion. The investigators' committee report, "No one can stand him at this point," Henrik quoted another unnamed House Republican as saying. And Republican Paulina Luna, there's really, honestly, Lewis, if you think about it, we never have a show we don't talk about Anna Paulina Luna, right? She weighed in, stating, to be clear, it's unethical to threaten to expel a member for following and using House rules that the entire conference agreed to. This game works both ways, just FYI, to any member who thinks they can blackmail a legislator into not legislating.
Yep, exactly. Well, we've talked about it. It's going to be it's the young Republicans and the newcomers that might be on the right team here, which is very, very interesting. But in regards to their reasoning is because of his which means probably multiple partners. Would that not close down the White House if they use the same rules?
Oh, yeah, it would. It would.
Well, the White House, they would. Well, I think it may be empty anyways. But if the White House really wasn't empty, would that just not empty it overnight?
It would. Yeah. No question. No question.
The hypocrisy. The rhinos, folks. By the way, the rhinos are some of the worst people on earth. They're Judas. They're Brutus. They're the ones that pretend to be your friend and stab you in the back. So many people on here rail against the Democrats. Oh, they're demon. Well, they're telling you what they're doing. What's worse, the Republicans pretending? That would be like you have a friend that says, I want to take care of your mom instead of her going into a nursing home, right? And you trust that friend, and then that friend beats the crap out of your mom. Yes. So lunchtime, we have some amazing remote speakers coming on. We have Gene Decode, Delora O'Brien, just a beautiful soul. Jack Lander, Mr. Knowledge is great. Lee Milter is amazing. And, everybody's the icon, Kathy O'Brien. And then we also have some dude with boots and a hat showing up and a book. I guess he's just going to be on stage with a book. His name's Juan O'Savin. Then you have Ethan Lucas, Derek Johnson. I think maybe some people know him. Then you're going to have Captain Deplorable 45, Sean Farash. He's going to be co-hosting with Bruce Poppy. The lovely Laura Worley, which I'm actually going to be interviewed with her in a few minutes. Mark Anthony, Lloyd Brunson just confirmed. Somebody was asking about the Brunson brothers. Maybe you should be in Nashville to find out. Lee Valentine, Joshua Reed, Dr. Layla Lee, Kim Yater, Christopher Key. You may know this guy. Trennis Evans, Jonathan Alexander, the amazing Dylan Lewis Monroe, Kimberly Overton, Carol Maureen Friesen, who's in chat right now. Love Carol. Alan Fountain, my buddy, and Jim Price just signed on. And it looks like we may have one or two more, but that's your lineup, folks. This will be the most epic Truth Tour ever. It is the last Truth Tour. You need to be there. We just opened up free tickets, so don't you tell me that you can't afford being there. Now you can get in for free. So we have the premiere event, which is amazing, where you actually get a private lunch with the speakers where they're going to rotate and sit at your table, and you can ask them questions. And you get VIP seating and a whole beautiful gift bag. And then you have your you have your general seating where you get preferred seating and you get a gift. And then you have all you freebies, you freeloaders, I'm just joking. All the people that couldn't afford it, we still think you should get the truth. So come in for free and join us. We need to fill this event up. It's amazing. And it is we have another announcement coming soon, and then we have a huge announcement on that day. So guys, go to truthtour.net. I can tell you the fact that we opened some free tickets up, if you need to upgrade your middle ticket to a premier ticket, or you need to get one of those two tickets, you may want to get them now, because literally a free ticket's going to take your slot. So if you want to get some of the two higher level tickets, I would suggest to get it right now, because the freebie, now that we announced it, those tickets will probably end up taking your slots, and then you might not be there. So that's it, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm getting
right on time.
I'm getting a ton of text messages. I'm trying to. Okay, so I'll figure this out, and then I'm going to go on. And get on this other show. Robert, it's been amazing being with you. Thank everybody for me, because I can't do that right now. I don't have time, but guys, God bless everybody. I know we got this. Let's just hang in there. There's great things to come. Really great things.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lewis. You'll be back tomorrow, same time, same batch.
Take care.
Thank you, my friend. See you soon. All right. That was Lewis Herms, everyone, helping out and being part of the fun here at this event. I want to talk a little bit more about JFK Jr. Is he switching parties? That is a good question. The answer is a resounding yes. And this is really interesting. I love this story because this is a Democrat, and we mentioned earlier, right? He's reaching a lot of the Democrats that the Republicans can't reach. We can't reach them. They won't listen to us because we don't have the right letter next to our name. But here's a guy who has the right letter next to his name, a D, and he's running for president. But get this, the Democrats don't want him there. Why? Because his policies are too Trump-like, right? He's talking about closing the election rigging and booby traps already in place, such as mass mail-in balloting here in California is permanent, ballot harvesting, no voter ID requirements, and the still mysterious hookups to the vote counting machines that we know can be easily manipulated by a 15-year-old. So it'll be interesting. I don't think it's going to go there. It's my hunch. I don't know. Who knows, right? We just look at this stuff and we wonder, which way it's going to go. It'll be interesting. All right. Let me pull up my other document here. I have two documents that I'm working from today. And where's that one? All right. I have many, many stories I want to cover. I'm not going to cover them all because I'd be here for a long time. But this one's sort of fascinating to look at here. This is from the Daily Mail, and I know I switched studios on you. Oh, just stick with me. We're okay. Stripe is facing a backlash. Anybody use Stripe for your business? You got a small business online, you use Stripe as a payment processor, right? Stripe is very easy. It's beat out PayPal. We don't use PayPal anymore. Most people don't use it, so Stripe is the new one, if you will, that replaced PayPal years ago. From the Daily Mail, Silicon Valley payments company Stripe is under fire across the globe after blocking small family-run businesses from using its services. So again, more debanking going on, more debanking happening here. Alastair Muir, who runs a country goods retailer in the UK with his wife and son, says his account was recently axed because he sells legal rifle accessories, not doing anything illegal. Against the backdrop of rising complaints about organizations debanking customers over political and religious views, the company, which is based in San Francisco and Dublin, Ireland, for tax reasons, is facing increased criticism from business owners in the US and the UK who claim they have been unfairly targeted. According to a Freedom of Information Act request filed by dailymail.com, the Federal Trade Commission has received 1,591 complaints about Stripe since January 1st of 2020. It's when they started to get real popular. Why? Because in 2020, what did we have? We had shutdowns, lockdowns, everyone shifting to online buying, right? So that's what happened. In January 2021, Stripe also made headlines after it stopped supporting payments to the Trump campaign website shortly after the Capitol riots. So here's another one of these woke companies, folks. Another one you may want to, I'm going to have to look for something else now because I use Stripe. A lot of my sites use Stripe. So yeah, I may need to find something else because I'm not sure I want to support companies that don't support any of us. Just to give you an idea, just kind of looking at what's real here. All right, this one from Zero Head just ought to give you some pause here. They are saying that homes are unaffordable in 99% of U.S. counties. That's incredible. The cost of living has risen to extremely painful levels, and this is particularly true when it comes to housing. Since 2019, the median price of a home in the United States has risen by more than $100,000. 2019 wasn't that long ago, like 4 years ago, right? Wow. And thanks to the Federal Reserve, we are now facing dramatically higher interest rates. They're saying they're over 7%. The typical American cannot afford to buy a home in a growing number of communities across the nation, according to common lending standards. So you have to do something special to be able to buy a house, I guess. That's the main takeaway from a new report from the real estate data provider Adam. Researchers examined the median home prices last year for roughly 575 U.S. counties and found that home prices in 99% of those were beyond the reach of the average income earner. The average income in America, just to get a feel for, are you above average or below average, is $71,214 a year. Not that much, huh? Housing experts point to a couple of trends driving up housing costs. Mortgage rates topped 7%, adding hundreds of dollars per month to a potential house payment. At the same time, homeowners who locked in at lower mortgage rates, a lot of you did, not to sell out of fear of having to buy another property at today's elevated rates, depleting the supply of homes for sale. What happens when there's no supply? Prices go up, right? The only people who are selling right now are people who really need to move because of a life event, divorce, marriage, new baby, new job. Pending home sales in August were 18.7% lower than they were a year ago. That is massive. A 20% drop in home sales in a year? Crazy. Crazy, crazy. All right. We have... I'm going to share this because, we need to go here. We don't want to go here. We need to go here. We really do. It's just one of those things we need to talk about. Let me jump ahead here real quickly. You know what? I'm going to jump out past that story because I think it's too big. for the time I have left with you today. Let's go to something a little easier. Okay. You know what's going on in Canada. A lot of you are paying attention to what goes on in Canada, right? I certainly do. I grew up there. So I grew up in Montreal, as some of you know. Big hockey fan still a Canadians fan. But the things are going a little haywire over there. I had a cousin. I have many cousins in Montreal. One of them this morning posted, she said, her Facebook feed has become boring. She said it's just ads and not much else. A few notes from family or friends, that kind of thing. But all the news is gone. And I asked this question. I said, do you know that all of that's been censored now in Canada? You can't get the news other than the government-run news agencies there. That's all you can get. And she had no idea because the news agencies can't tell her because she can't get that news because they're not talking about it in the Canadian media, interestingly enough. So they're in a country where they would have freedom of speech like you and I have here in the United States, but they don't. They're shutting it down more and more. So in August, they banned news on all the web platforms. And of course, Facebook, Meta, they went along with it, and now they're blocking all of it. It gets worse. Canadian libraries, and let's see here. No, let's do this piece first, because I think this is the more important. So this story that you have on the screen right now, I'm a little out of my order, my normally order here, so just bear with me for a moment. Canadian tyrant Justin Trudeau's government recently moved to its next phase of controlling the population. The Trudeau government will now regulate, this bothers me, podcasts and track content and subscribers. This tyrannical order comes after Trudeau restricted access to news in Canada last August, which was 2 months ago. This should come as no surprise. Trudeau previously froze the bank accounts of protesting truckers in Canada. Remember the trucker protest? Man, I was glued to that. I was watching that day and night. The Trudeau government announced that being pro-Trump was a factor they would use to freeze accounts. Wait a minute. So if you believe in freedom and freedom of speech and an open economy, and that would be a reason to freeze your accounts. The CRTC, which is the Canadian Radio and Television Commission, which is similar to our FCC, Federal Communication Commission here in the United States, announcement states that podcasters meeting a certain criteria need to provide information about their activities in Canada. I don't know about my activities in Canada. I'm doing this podcast. How many Canadians do I have watching? Probably quite a few. What information would I be able to give them? Online streaming services operating in Canada that offer audio or video content that generate 10 million or more in annual revenues must complete a registration form by November 28th. Not to scare you, but that's Rumble. Right? Rumble is already banned in France. We know that people in France can't get Rumble. It's blocked. Don't have access to it unless they use a VPN and get around the block. They can't get it. May happen here in Canada as well. Its pitch is a one-time requirement that's collecting basic information. It starts out that way, and then it gets worse. Second, the CRTC is setting conditions for online streaming services to operate in Canada. These conditions take effect today and require certain online streaming services to provide the CRTC with information related to their content and subscribership. How in the world would Rumble do that? Let's see. We have a couple of 100,000 people streaming live every week. We have every kind of content imaginable. How would you do that? There is now no freedom of speech in order for ordinary Canadians, and access to news has been stifled. The changes mean that people in Canada would no longer be able to view or share news content on Facebook and Instagram, which is already the case. If Canadians don't fight back now, honestly, they never will. Rumble was a Canadian company. Rumble was started by Canadians who believed in freedom of speech. The reason they started it was because they saw the censorship in YouTube. And when they started to get popular in 2020, when YouTube started banning everybody, they became very popular. They moved their offices to Florida. So they're based now in Florida. But do they have any Canadian clients? Let's see. They started the business there. They brought a lot of Canadian clients. What happens if Rumble gets banned in Canada? Right? How are the Canadians, is it time to fight back yet? By the way, they always test these things. So could get banned in Canada. That might be step number one.